Hi there! As I promised you, the Tasks app is ready. If you are new on my channel, hit the subscribe button. This channel is specialized only for Flutter tutorials, and now I am uploading real Flutter app tutorials with step-by-step explanations. By the real app tutorials, you will increase your Flutter skills and experience much more. Now I will introduce the whole functionality of the application. First, you can add new task by the floating action button or by plus button in the app bar. Let's add new tasks. Here, by expansion panel, you can see the whole title text and description text. Why do I also add task title here? Because in some cases you might have big title like this. And if you want, you can copy it. Here, these stars mean whether your task is marked as favorite or not. And you can mark it here by a pop-up window. Your all favorite tasks are in the Favorites tab. And when you check the checkbox, the task moves to Completed Tasks tab. And in the Favorites tab, it's also checked. Next, Delete function. Delete this favorite task too. And it's also removed from Favorites tab. And it's here in the Bin folder, Completed Favorite Task too. And here, in the pop-up window, there are two options: delete permanently or restore. If you press restore, it will go back to Pending Tasks tab, as it's not favorite and unchecked. But created time remains the same. Next, edit function. Let's edit this task too. When you save edited task, its created time will be changed, and it will go to the top of the list. And now let's edit completed favorite task. Again, it will go to Pending Tasks tab, but it remains as a favorite. By the way, note that this Tasks app tutorial is made using Flutter BLoC pattern. Before watching Tasks app tutorial, I highly recommend you to watch the previous Flutter BLoC state management tutorial, so that you understand Tasks app tutorial easily. The tutorial will appear at the end of the screen. Next, changing app theme. Now, watch the whole app in dark mode. Next, delete only one task permanently or delete all tasks. If you press delete all tasks, they will be deleted permanently. Or you can use delete permanently in the pop-up window of the task itself to delete the task permanently. You will learn all of the above and more other amazing Flutter widgets in this tutorial. Martin Luther King once said that you don't have to see all the steps of a big staircase. You just have to take the first step to start climbing them. So good luck on your start! This is an initial project. You can download it by the link in the description. If you are new on my channel, hit the subscribe button and like the video. And more thing, I'm a user of VS Code just because it's quite light and easy to code with simple shortcuts. If you want to install it, check out my channel video and there is Flutter installation tutorial with VS Code, or simply click the card appearing on the top right. So, let's start! First, create tasks model. We use Equitable and Flutter BLoC package in the project. Equitable package is the best package to auto-compare model properties, and it also installed all the extensions which we use in the project. BLoC, Dart data class generator, Dart import, PubSpec assist. So, go to PubSpec YAML file, press Ctrl-Shift-P and search PubSpec assist. Select it and type package name, Flutter BLoC and Equitable. The two packages added and run Flutter pub-get command. Save and close. Now, create task model class. At the beginning, we need task title. Is done, which is a boolean, and is deleted, which is also boolean. Put the mouse cursor on the class name and press Ctrl+dot and select Generate Constructor. And here we initialize booleans if they are equal to null. Double quotation mark means if is done equal to null. Again, Ctrl+dot, now we generate copy with method. Next, generate JSON serialization. Here we don't actually need Dart convert, because we don't use encode and decode functions. We only need to map and from map. Last thing, this class extends Equitable package. Create its override method. And insert all class properties. That's all with this module class. Now, we create temporary tasks list. Later, I delete it. We implement List View Builder to see this task list on the screen. List View Builder is used for unlimited lists. It has item builder and item count. Item count takes its value by task list length. Item Builder returns list style. List style is also one of the best widgets because it has title, subtitle, leading, trailing, on tape, and many other useful properties. We separate tasks by index and implement each task in list style. Title is equal to task title. And for trailing, we implement checkbox. Leave unchanged, empty by now. And value is task is done. Run the project and we have an error because of adding list view inside the column without giving proper constraint. By default, the list view takes all the available space in a vertical direction and the column widget does not add any constraint on its children's height. Hence, it becomes difficult for the Flutter to calculate the size of the list view. You can wrap your list view builder widget inside the expanded widget, and this will allow you the list view to take all the available as long as the column allows. Hot restart and now we have no error. Next, now we implement task list using BLoC. For that, create a folder for blocks and inside it create a Dart file for BLoC exports. And now create BLoC. This comes from BLoC extension. And give BLoC name, which is tasks in our case. And here BLoC auto creates 3 BLoC files. Let's implement them one by one. First, task state. Delete abstract keyword and initial class. And create task list. And in the constructor initialize it as an empty task list. Insert the list to the props. Next, we implement tasks event. Initially, we have 3 events. Add task. In this event, we add new task to the task list. It requires a task object. Next event is update task. With this event, mark task as done or undone. Later we have more event, but for now, last one is delete task. In this event, we delete selected task from the task list. Next, tasks block. Here we control events and emit new task state. So, on each event we tell the BLoC what it should do. And for each event we write its logic. On add task function receives current event and emitter. And here we just emit new state with new task list by adding new event task object to the total state task list. We leave empty the other two on update task and on delete task for a while. Later we implement it. In the task screen, let's extract this list view builder widget, give a name, cut it, and we put it into the separate file. Then import libraries. Now, we don't need this task list. It's time to implement BLoC provider in the main Dart file. Just wrap material up with BLoC provider, then write BLoC name, which is tasks. And before importing, let's collect all BLoC imports in the BLoC exports file. And here we import only one import file, which is BLoC exports. Final thing, in the main function, just wrap the run app with BLoC overrides .run zoned. Now we can implement task BLoC in the task screen. Wrap the scaffold with BLoC builder and import BLoC exports file. At the moment, we don't have any task in the task list, so just for a while we add it manually in the main function. Save and hot restart. Next, we implement model bottom sheet to add tasks. It receives build context. It has context and builder. We use single child scroll view so that the widget can be scrolled. Furthermore, in Show Model Bottom Sheet, it must have bottom padding with meet a query of context view insets bottom. Then, in the model bottom sheet, we will have many widgets vertically, so we need a column. First, text field. To insert task title. In the controller, create text editing controller object. Call this Add Task in the Floating Action button. Save and hot restart. Let's test it and we design it step by step. Add text widget. And in the text field, add input decoration, label and border. And we need some padding for the column. In text field, make autofocus true. This makes our text field active as soon as we press the Add button. Save and hot restart. And now, our model bottom sheet is getting larger. Let's extract this container widget. Give a name for the widget. After that, we need two buttons, Cancel and Add. Cancel button just closes the model bottom sheet. And in the Add button, we create new task object according to user input. Then we call Add Task Event to add the task to task list. Note that if context.read does not appear in your case, make sure that you must import BLoC exports file. After that, it closes the screen. Because of the column widget, the two buttons place vertically. Let's make them horizontal. For that, just wrap them with row widget. And make main axis alignment space evenly. Now it's okay. As you can see, we added task 2, but when we open Add screen, the text task 2 is still there. This issue comes from the title controller, because in the separate widget we have still the old title controller. That's why we are seeing old value. Let's separate the Add task screen widget. Create new Add task screen file. And import BLoC exports file. An important thing is that don't send title controller via parameter. Create text editing controller in Add task screen itself. Now, next small issue is that when I press floating action button and type something, it's not writing until I click in the text field. For example, right now I'm typing, but it's not writing. For that, make this task screen stateful widget. Save all files and hot restart. And now, as you can see, I didn't click inside text field, but I am able to text in it. Copy this line of code and paste it here so that we can add new task via plus button in the app bar. Now it's time to implement update task event. Take this state and event task to other final variables. Now we update the list and create new task list, removing the old task. Now, add the task with updated value. If old value was false, we add the task with true value, otherwise with false value. After that, emit the new task list. And we call this update event here in the checkbox. Let's test it. As you can see, it's working fine, but it's adding new updated tasks to the bottom of the list. But it should add its own position. For that, first we need its index. And we insert it in its position. Don't forget to hot restart after it changes. Now, it's working perfect. Next, implement delete task event. It's very easy. If you want the post tutorial and first, try it yourself. So, you just need to emit new state, removing the task from the state task list. And here, in list style, on long press, we delete the task. Just long press and task will be deleted. Later we change the delete method. Delete this initial task here. So next, it's time to save state changes in local memory, so that when you hot restart the project, it will not go back to initial empty list. Go to pubspec YAML file and add hydrated BLoC package. Run Flutter pub-get and export hydrated BLoC imports to BLoC exports file. As your experience from the previous tutorial, try to implement hydrated BLoC into the project. After that, you will see my solution for this. So, go to task block, change the block into hydrated block, create two missing overrides, and go to task state file. Generate JSON serialization. And as usual, delete unnecessary parts we only need from map end to map. And here, in the task block, just return task state dot from map and send this JSON. Here in the toJSON, just return state dot to map. That's all. And now go to main.dart file. Add here the word hydrated. We need pass initializer, so go to pubspec YAML file and add pass provider package. Save and run Flutter pub get. Go to main. As I told you in the previous tutorial, hydrated storage will call native call, so we need to initialize widget bindings before we start building our app. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to call the native call. Now, we can create storage variable which is equal to hydrated storage.build, and we have to show its directory, which is application document directory. Then, import pass provider if it's not auto-added. We will get this directory in the future, so we need async and await here. Now, we can implement its storage. All done with the main file. Let's test it. Add some tasks. Add mark any task as done. After that, press hot restart. Wait a little and nothing is changed. Now close the app and reopen it. Still the same, it didn't go back to initial empty list. Congratulations, hydrated BLoC is working perfect. One last thing, we have a little bug here. When you add several tasks with the same title, it doesn't work as we have expected. We check or uncheck one task, but another task will be checked. Because the tasks are totally the same, even if the equitable package considers them that they are totally equal. The solution of this is adding task ID in the model. Here I'm using Ctrl-Shift-Down arrow key to duplicate the line. Just add ID everywhere in the model like me. So that's all. And now, here we create a task not only with a title, but also add an ID to it. Go to README file and copy this GUID ID generator. create new services folder and Dart file in it. This GUID generator class auto-generates 16-bit ID. And here just call this GUIDGen.generate and returns an ID in string format. Let's test it one more time with the same title. Delete previous tasks and create new. Everything is working fine. Please comment your opinion about my teaching method and was this first part useful for you. Subscribe, like and share it with your friends. See you in the next part. Ta-ta for now!